I was born in a country called Guinea-Bissau. Very few people have heard of it. My parents were missionaries with WEC International, and we lived in an island off the coast of Guinea-Bissau, so we were the only white people on the island. I have 3 sisters, and I loved growing up in Africa. We climbed trees, and we chased after all sorts of animals, iguanas, lizards, hunted pigeons, squirrels, whatever it was. My dad built a boat, and we ended up travelling around lots of different islands, and he did a lot of agricultural projects and working with different churches. I went to boarding school when I was 9, and again for me that was a positive experience. I absolutely loved being part of that. It was a small school, and just felt like a close family as well. And so I loved that we didn't have any of the toys or gadgets or TVs or anything that people grow up with nowadays. But I don't feel that I missed out on anything in my upbringing. In fact, I kind of feel privileged that I had the upbringing that I had. To be honest, I struggled moving back to Northern Ireland. I hated it at the start, having moved from a country where everything took place outside to being in school most of the day, and then whenever you got out of school it was dark and you were inside. And to be honest, I think even friendships, I went from having lots of close friends, deep friendships, to moving back here where a lot of the friendships seem to be superficial and just on a surface level. So I struggled with that for quite a long time. I really never felt that I was at home in Northern Ireland, and found it quite difficult. But again, family, friends, church, and even football played a part in, I suppose, making me feel at home and helping me to become more at home in this country. I became a Christian. I made the commitment to follow Jesus at probably about 6 years old, and I remember doing that during siesta time on the island, in our house out in the island. And I suppose for me it was a simple decision to make, because I was surrounded by my family. I knew God was real. I knew Jesus had died for me. I knew I was a sinner. I knew all those things, and I had actually seen in many ways God provide for us as a family. I had seen just God working in our lives. So much of my sort of Christian upbringing, it was a lot more real than maybe sometimes it is here in Northern Ireland. So I knew that it wasn't a big thing. It wasn't a big decision necessarily for me to become a Christian, because I knew I needed to do that. But I suppose as a kid, you're just a kid, and it's a very simplistic decision in some ways, although it was genuine. I think it wasn't until obviously moving back to Northern Ireland, going through some difficult times, that I maybe wondered what did this really mean for me? What did it mean to be a Christian in Northern Ireland? What did it mean living as a Christian day in, day out? And I think that's where it all came to a head at New Horizon, a Christian conference here in Northern Ireland. And this is what I want to do with my life. I want to serve you, I want to follow you, I want to get to know you more, I want to trust you more. But I responded that night, and I'm so thankful that I did, because I think for me that was the start of my journey in terms of really following Jesus, really being serious about my faith. And in some ways it's been difficult since. I've had good times, bad times, but I never regret that decision. I never look back and have any doubts or regrets about that. It's been the most incredible journey ever. It's been an absolutely amazing experience.